telling him to do something useful. As Peter nervously pulls his arm back to swing, Captain America asks, "What are you?" Peter stutters, telling him that he has to. Ron May's going to. Peter then grabs onto Captain America and he tells him, "Norman won't. We have her up in the helicarrier." While the two of them struggle, pushing each other back, Peter asks, "You promise? You swear you have her?" And Captain America looks at him and says, "Kid." Peter lets go and he looks back to Norman, calling him out. Norman shouts that he told him to. Peter
Spider-Man.
cracks him across his goblin face. He then jumps on top of him and he's sick of having him in his life. And then one of Otto's mechanical arms grabs and throws it. Peter's body shoots through the field, crashes into the White House. As Peter gets back up, he says, "So this is the Oval Office, huh?" Back up there while the fight is continuing, Janet flies towards Otto and straightens her. A few seconds later, Otto begins to gag and he falls to the ground. Janet then crawls out, stating that this will make her the first person in history to be totally covered in gingivitis. Elsewhere, Flint Marco beats down on Tony in the Iron Man suit while Tony radios in that he could really use the genetic sequencer Sandman right about now so he can actually fight back. A few moments later, the radio says that the file is sent and Tony gives a blast, shooting Flint's head off. Across the field, Captain America bashes Norman, telling him to just give it up. But after pushing him back, Norman shouts, "Where is Nick Fury? I'll kill him right here." And as he yells, he suddenly hears Harry's voice call out, "Dad!" Norman turns around and Harry stands there telling him that he needs to stop. Norman stops and he stands up, saying, "Nick has sunk to a new low using my own child." And Harry tells him no, he came on his own, so please just stop all of this. While they talk, Tony watches and tells the helicarrier to go ahead. Load Osborn's genetic sequence, he has a clear shot. Harry then looks back at the White House and sees Peter. Norman stands still and then slowly begins to revert back, when suddenly there's a flash, and a bright blue blast hits Norman in the back. And as he falls, he shouts, "I'll kill you all!" Everyone on the ground begins to focus their attacks on Norman, and Nick walks up to Harry and tells him this wasn't a part of the plan. Peter rushes down to see Harry, and then there's another explosion in the sky. Everyone looks up to see a giant ball of electricity and then a person fall from it. One of the soldiers asks who just won, and as him and Tony aim, they see Thor float back to the ground asking if they're done yet. Peter turns back to Harry, hugging him, telling him that he didn't deserve any of this, and through his sobs, Harry says, "All of you. I'll kill all of you for this." Another soldier starts to walk Harry away, and Nick walks up to Peter, telling him that for a number of reasons, he needs to get out of here. They will get him back to New York within the hour. They've got Harry under control. A little while later, Peter heads over to the helicarrier and is told to tell Aunt May that he was also being held. Because of security, he was kept separate from her. She asks if she's like mad or anything. Like
Oh my god.
Peter and the agent walk into the next room. May screams that she will sue all of them if she doesn't see her nephew right now, right this instant. Peter runs over to hug her and she tells the agents that she would very much like them to bring her home now. Elsewhere, in another lab loading bay, a cryogenic chamber is activated with the body of Norman Osborn. Captain America says they should just put a bullet in the back of his head, and Nick tells them that they can't. Not until they get everything they need from his DNA. As the rain pours down, Captain America tells them that's right, because the next war will be a genetic one. And Nick Fury tells them, yeah, that's right. As the cab driver loads up Aunt May's luggage, May stands by Peter and Gwen's side, explaining that she's going to be gone in Florida for a week. She doesn't want any hanky-panky going on. And as Peter asks, what the heck is that? May tells him that he knows what she needs. After the two of them wave goodbye, Peter goes back inside to have breakfast, and he begins to think about how this is a first. For once, there's no earth-shattering drama, no news about some villain attacking New York. Heck, even Jonah is being somewhat reasonable. And while Gwen makes herself breakfast, she has the news playing. The reporter says that they have an interview with Sam Raimi, the man who will be directing the new Spider-Man movie. Peter watches as Sam says that there isn't much known about Spider-Man, but he wants to capture his perception of it. Just imagine that this man was struck by tragedy, and he grows up to be a loser, and then he puts on a mask and everything changes. As Peter listens to Sam, for the most part, accurately describe his life, he doesn't realize until after that he just ripped the door off the hinges. Meanwhile, over at Rikers Island Maximum Security Penitentiary, Otto Octavius sits in his cell, alone. One of the guards leans in on the cell, showing him a paper stating that there is a Spider-Man movie coming out, and his ex-wife is helping as a consultant to give it a little authenticity. Apparently, she's an expert on deluded, self-important murderers like him, and leave it to ex-wives to cash in on the man's work, right? The guard throws the paper in, saying that he wouldn't feel bad if he wasn't a cop killer. And who knows, maybe you could even go to the premiere. Later, as Otto lies in his bed, he feels a faded thump, thump, and he smiles. Not far off at the S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters, two scientists begin to hear a thump coming from a locker. They go to check it out. As soon as the locker is unlocked, Otto's mechanical arm shoots and begins crawling up into the air vents. The next day, at the set of the new Spider-Man movie, actor Tobey Maguire pulls off his Spider-Man mask, shouting that he can't see a thing with this thing on. Just as Sam and the others go out to respond, their words trail off. And Tobey looks around to see Peter, the actual Spider-Man, telling him, "You suck." And then he points at everyone else, stating, "You all suck and you should feel bad." He then jumps around the set shouting the movie is totally going to tank because they're all fake and their actors can't do this. Peter then stops and asks Sam, "How could you do this to me? You're making a movie without my permission. I'm Spider-Man. Sam smiles, telling him, actually, we don't need it. You're a public figure, so you're public domain. And the producer adds that they even get the rights of Octavius from his ex-wife. The producer then begins asking, what are these men like? What kind of men are Otto and Norman Osborn? Peter begins to feel frustrated that no one is listening to him. He's Spider-Man. He's here in the suit, and no one's listening to him. And he shouts, you people just suck. And he webs on. Back on Rikers Island, Otto sits up in his bed and he smiles as he hears the explosions going off and the guards shouting for help. As the mechanical arm slips into the cell, he says, yes, I missed you too. Now it's time for us to leave. A short while later, at another part of town, Otto knocks on a door that happens to be a man's house. And when the man asks what does he want, Otto tells him that he has a really nice house. The man asks, do I know you or something? And then suddenly there's a crash from behind and the mechanical arms begin to crawl in. Otto tells the man, I really like your house. Meanwhile, at school, Kong tells everyone that he just got a part in the Spider-Man movie as an extra. While the students all gather around to listen, Gwen overhears and asks if there's a part in the movie where Spider-Man kills her dad. Everyone just looks at her, and Gwen mutters, "This is so stupid!" under her breath, and she storms off. Peter and Mary Jane watch them and they chase after her. Peter tells her that they know it wasn't Spider-Man that killed her father. It was, if Gwen cuts him off, yeah, it was some guy in a Spider-Man costume. That doesn't matter. It's all Spider-Man. A guy dressed as Spider-Man killed my dad, and now they want to make a movie about him? Gwen turns and walks up shouting, yeah, make a hero out of him. Make a movie and tell him, yippee! Peter tells Mary Jane that he really is a crazy villain to get the crap out of right now. Back at Otto's newly acquired house, he talks to the mechanical arms as they flip through the channels on the TV and stuff in the news. The reports begin to talk about the new Spider-Man movie and how they're lucky enough to speak with Rosalita Octavius, the estranged wife of Dr. Otto Octavius. The camera then switches to Rosalita talking about Otto and how he's a tragic failure. And as the news plays, the mechanical arms rip the TV off the wall and they smash it on the ground. And Otto says, this is perplexing. Up in one of the buildings is Peter talking as they film. And as the actors start to get ready for a break, there's a loud crash and people screaming. When everyone looks over, they see Otto making his way through, destroying everything in his path. He calls out to Rosalita, telling her how disappointed that we are for what you've done. One of the mechanical arms begins to reach out, but is stopped as Peter webs it up, saying, you can't do this. How could you be out and about doing this to me again? And Otto just looks back and says, Mr. Parker. The mechanical arms begin to grab Peter, and Peter shouts, all of the sucky things you made me do. Now you're making me fight you so that you don't crash the movie set that I already hate. As the arms flail about, one manages to knock Peter down, and Otto screams at him to just die! The arms then shoot out, and just before it hits Peter, he quickly catches it. And Otto asks, why? He says that everywhere I go, Spider-Man is always there. Peter then struggles to push the arm back and says, because I love you. And then Otto whips Peter into the air, and Peter asks, how is it that you keep escaping? I'm no expert or anything, but I'm starting to really think that there needs to be a security upgrade of these prisons. As Peter tries to fight back against Otto, Otto manages to knock him back into the ground, and then he wraps an arm around Peter's neck. As he's lifted up into the air, Peter says, you've become a much better fighter. Otto then electrifies an arm and smacks Peter with it, stating, we have had a great deal of time to consider how to fight you if we ever met again. Peter asks who this we stuff is that he's already talking about, because he's already a whacked out, wackety whack job. And one of the actors runs in screaming, oh God, don't kill me! And both Peter and Otto just stare at him. So then Otto keeps Peter in the air, and one of the Spider-Man stuntmen grab a camera, and they bash it into the side of Otto's head. Peter asks, who are you? The man says that his name is Leroy, and this guy is gone and shut down the project. Peter says, oh, I thought I was getting a revamp or something. Otto then gets up, swinging his arm, knocking Leroy away. And then Peter catches one of the arms and swings Otto into a production booth. Just as he swings
What do you want, Jojo?
Peter's grabbed by another arm and he's tossed out.
Go in your room then. Come on, come on, come on.
Goes to check it.
Mom, I need your phone.
Mary dances in, telling her that her mother finally kicked her father out. She's knocked her underground from the whole running away thing. She then calls out for Peter, and Gwen tells her that he's not really here. He's at work or something. Gwen says that she'll hang out until he gets back. She needs to relax anyway. But just before they sit on the couch, they both see the news, and they see that Spider-Man is Otto again, and now Spider-Man's defending everyone. Gwen watches it angrily, and Mary Jane watches.
Wait, Jojo.
Go on.
Mom
She
said
forgot
she
something.
wanted to-
She runs up to her. However, Gwen notices that there was something strange. Back on the set, the fighting blocks Peter.
Jojo, no.
Where Otto throws Peter
You
against
good.
the wall.
You Gucci. You
Gucci,
Gucci, Jojo. Go downstairs and watch TV.
Otto hits him again, slamming him into another car. Peter looks up and then his vision begins to fade. And when he opens his eyes, he tries to move and then he sees that he's duct taped to a chair. And a plane has already taken off. That's when he hears a voice telling him, good, you're awake. Otto walks out of the cockpit telling him that it's a lovely night to be flying, Mr. Parker. I actually thought that you would be grounded for being out this late on a school night. He then pulls off Peter's mask and Peter asks, what kind of goofy goofball thing are you going to do to me now? So Otto hits him with a mechanical arm and Peter shouts, God, you knocked a tooth loose. Otto tells him, I'm sorry about that, but let's take a look. I'm the doctor after all. The mechanical arm holds Peter's head in place.
Jeez, this is the worst this is the worst unboxing live stream
Otto
ever.
revs up Peter's mouth, telling him, "This is the cute toy that you made." And I thought that the webbing came out of your body organically. Peter tries to break free, but Otto tells him, "You're only here for one purpose, and that's courtesy. Hey, break glass in case of an emergency situation." He sits down, telling him,
I had got
"Yes,
a
yes,
controller.
I need something in case I run into any trouble when we land. I have you to be you. But there's one thing that I want to tell you. I hate everything about you. The biggest thing was this whole wanting to do good thing. Deep down, you're just a pathetic, immature glory hound. In fact, I'm truly disgusted by you, Mr. Parker. There's always someone standing in my way. Whether it be you, Rosalita, Norman, there's always someone. Why can't you people just leave me alone so that I can live a decent life? Ryan!"
So I got this. I can't show you the code because I'm gonna take. Got a gift card, and also I am unboxing this. So it's compatible with an Xbox One controller, of course.
Why is that so hard? Otto leans back and
Boom.
tells him,
But I'm not gonna open this until I get my Xbox back. So
"We'll kill you." As Otto goes on, Peter passes out from the plane, and the pilot says he'll be arriving shortly. Otto walks back up to the cockpit and he hears the pilot speaking to the control tower about the landing. And then there's a sudden boom!
I had got
Otto
this
runs back
game
out to see the
too.
door open and Peter gone from his chair. And he looks outside screaming, "Parker!" Meanwhile, back at home, Gwen doesn't feel quite so right that Mary Jane is up and left at news of Spider-Man, so she decides to go into Peter's basement. While she looks around, she sees Peter's locked chest and breaks the lock with a hammer. As it opens, her eyes widen as she sees the Spider-Man costume sitting inside. Once the plane touches down in Brazil, Otto says that he knows little Parker is out there. He pulls the pilot out, telling him that he did an exceptional job flying under what he is sure was not ideal flying conditions. But they have a little Spider-Man to deal with. Pilot says that he promised that he could live, but Otto steps off the plane, and then Peter jumps out of a closet and kicks him onto the runway. Otto scrambles to get up, and Peter punches him down, telling him, "You had this coming!" He then jumps onto Otto, smacking him down with his own mechanical arm, asking, "Are you gonna whip out yet?" And then one arm crawls up from behind, throwing Peter into the air, and he lands on one of the plane's wings. When Peter gets up, he looks at the airport sign, and now that he's able to read it, he says, "Oh, man, I'm not in America, am I? I am so going to be grounded." Otto gets back up and he starts to swing at the airport personnel. And so Peter jumps in, punching him back to the ground, telling him to just stay calm. Suddenly, Peter hears the sounds of guns cocking, and soldiers start running at him, yelling in Portuguese. He tells them that he swears that he'll do whatever they want if they just say it in English. And then from the crowd, a woman steps forward asking if he's really the American Spider-Man. And if so, what is he doing here? Peter points to Otto, telling them that it was this guy's fault. He kidnapped me to go wherever the heck this place is. The woman tells him he's actually in Brazil. Peter then turns to the pilot, stating that he knows that he's had a bit of a rough night, but could you help me out and bring me back to New York? That'd be great. The female captain says they're not going anywhere. They still have reports to fill out. So Peter shouts, "No, you don't understand. I have to get home or I'm going to be in so much trouble." But before they can be taken away, a passing plane gets ready to take off. Just before lifting off, Peter hops onto it and sticks to the plane. And then from hopping from plane to plane, he finally gets back to Queens. Peter rushes home before Aunt May is supposed to get back, and he sneaks into the basement. Just as he pulls his mask off, he sees Gwen standing there holding a gun at him. And through her crying, she says that it was him. Wasn't it? He's the one that killed her father. Peter asks, where did she even get the gun? And she shouts that it was her father's. She goes out screaming that it was Spider-Man. Spider-Man killed her father. He shouts that it wasn't him, it was the other guy in his Spider-Man costume. And then the two hear the front door open as Aunt May gets back from her trip. Peter quickly snatches the gun and tells Gwen that she needs to listen to him. He didn't kill her father. Yes, he's Spider-Man, but he would never kill anyone. Plus, he was with her the day that it happened. Her dad was in Atlantic City. They were here. There's no way that he could have been there. And he tells her that she needs to please believe him. No one knows about this, and Aunt May cannot handle this sort of thing. As May continues calling, asking who's home, Peter slowly removes his hand from Gwen's mouth. She doesn't say anything, and then she turns to leave, slamming the basement door shut. May calls out asking if anyone is down there, and Peter comes up stating that he just fell asleep at his computer. He's sorry for not coming up right away. May tells him it's all right, and then she sees the bruise on Peter's cheek. She asks what happened, and Peter says, "Oh, he got hurt at the gym. The tooth even popped out, but it's fine." May tells him he's not okay, so they're going to set up an appointment to have the dentist to look at that tomorrow. The next day, Peter laid in bed as Mary Jane comes home from school. She tries to gently wake him, but he jumps up shouting, "Don't!" And he spits out bandages from his mouth. Both scream, falling back, and Peter says, "Oh, hey." She hugs him, telling him that she was so worried. Everyone's been talking at school about the whole fight. And And then he says, actually, was Gwen at school? Mary Jane says, no, why? Peter tells Mary Jane that Gwen found out. Mary Jane quietly says that she may have looked a little suspicious, running out of the house when the news was showing him fighting Doc Ock. Peter sighs, asking what is he supposed to do now, and a voice says that she was gonna find out sooner or later. Peter sees Gwen and asks, where did she go? She tells him that at first, just in the backyard for like an hour. That's the movies and the library. Mary Jane asks what she's doing there, and Gwen says she was just reading up stuff on Spider-Man and her father. Peter asks that she knows that he didn't kill her father, right? And Gwen says, yes, sorry, she kind of wigged out on him like that. Peter brushes it off, telling her not to worry, and they're all kind of spazzing out. But Gwen jumps on the bed, stating that this all makes so much more sense to me. The reason Peter Parker is a total flake. Mary Jane says that he was a flake before this whole thing happened. Gwen then says that he knows that she wasn't going to shoot, right? Peter says, yeah. He has spider sense that lets him know when something dangerous is about to happen. Just don't fall. So as everything for Peter is wrapping up, later that night at Stark Industries, S.H.I.E.L.D. soldiers begin to gather, and a van pulls up. And from it, Otto is escorted to where Nick Fury is standing. Nick introduces himself to Otto and tells him that one of the decisions that he made was to keep the mechanical arms intact while their scientists examined how they worked. But as of now, they know that that was a mistake. They have misjudged how strong the connection he had to them was. So that is why he's being brought here and sedated enough not to control it. But not so much as to pass out. Nick then gives an order. The mechanical arms are dropped into the vat of molten metal. And Otto shouts, no, it was all him! They had nothing to do with this! And Nick tells the guards to go ahead and take him away. But before leaving, Nick looks into the fire and tells the guards, just keep an eye on those things.
So yeah, that's it for my whole unboxing video. I know that was long and boring, but it wasn't supposed to be boring at all. But I mean, your boy rocking out with the Spider-Man shoot. Hashtag sponsored by Sony. Thank you for sponsoring me. I'm getting a PS4. So Sony, I love you guys. The reason why I got an Xbox though is for Fortnite. I like Xbox and I also like you, Sony. And I'll only use Xbox and PS4. I'm also sponsored by Marvel for making Spider-Man. So sponsor y'all too. And I see y'all guys later. Peace out. Oh.